Nothing else. There's no other variables. But a person open carrying, is it your policy to stop and identify that person and check their license? There doesn't have to be terrible.
You're asking me a hypothetical situation.
Oh my gosh, Chief, come on, don't play the politics game.
I'm not playing the politics game. You asked me a question. I've addressed your issues.
It's not a hypothetical. It's not.
Here's the thing, and someone pointed this out, not even halfway through this. This police chief is playing the politics game with the speaking. He's being evasive as hell when it comes to answering the question. He can't give a straight answer on the issue because he knows if he says no, he's lying his ass off. And he obviously can't say yes. Because it makes him look bad. Go ahead.
Agreed, Bunny. And also, if you listen carefully, this pig's not even taking what he's saying seriously to himself. You can hear him smirking, and he's on the verge of laughter every time he evades the any kind of direct answer. Like, the cop's not even taking himself seriously. It's so bad. Yeah, it's so transparent, staring into the face of transparent evil.
And Harry Balzania has a great comment here. Letting a cop continue with an analogy is allowing him to insert straw man. Never do it. We are talking about this is not an incident, not an imaginary one. The chief is winning. Actually, not really. But the analogy he did pick is a shit analogy. It is literally the worst comparison because when it comes to drinking, it is it is in some situations more regulated than it is for firearms ownership and the ability to do open carry and stuff like that. You can't, in majority places, you can't walk around the streets with an open container. That will get you at least a ticket, kind of thing. That's part of the reason why you have the paper bag test, the Fourth Amendment test with that kind of thing, where you got someone sitting there, they got a regular soda or drink, and it's in a paper bag. And we see if the Fourth Amendment is respected in that regard. Which Sean Thomas pretty much was doing really well effectively. I don't think he was the first person to really do it. I'm not 100% sure. He might be. But nonetheless, he's shown the how bad the NYPD is on the issue of the Fourth Amendment around that issue, and has hemmed up the cops greatly in the courts over those kinds of issues.
I don't know if this is true or not. I'd like to see some research on it, but I've been here in my chat room is saying that in Texas, you can go into a bar and check your shotgun. Apparently they have a little lockbox or something. That would be funny. That would be awesome if they did that or provided that service.
Yeah, I would. I've been here. If you can, send us a citation for that or something like that when you have a chance of that actually happening, or a law for that, would be awesome. Or at least a business that a business that actually does that. I love to have that, because who knows, maybe we can convince Open Carry Texas and some other open carry activists to do a party or something like that, or have a huge get together at that bar. Imagine the amount of business we could drive in that direction just to show support of that kind of policy. Would be quite entertaining. So, but let's go ahead and finish this off since there's just about a minute left.
Not a hypothetical at all. People open carry every day. When people are open carrying, absent any other articulable suspicion, probable cause, just open carrying. This isn't a hypothetical. I'm not saying, okay, a person's open carrying and he happens to have the gun in his hand. No. He's got a holstered handgun in accordance with state law in a belt or shoulder holster, absent anything else. Is it your policy to stop and identify those individuals?
No. Obviously, no. We have encountered many people with open carry.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, I'm still a little flabbergasted that you don't think it's necessary to investigate pulling guns on people for open carrying. But I do look forward.
Yeah. So that, is straight up very telling of the mentality of the police department there. It shows a great, almost park. It is beyond description of how out of control they are. And I'm gonna add this statement in. The thing is, there are some things I don't agree with people when it comes to civil rights exercise and stuff like that. But I still see a value, need, or reason behind it because it can expose bad police departments, bad towns, bad public mentality. Morro Bay being another example of exposure that has been brought about from activists showing up and just randomly doing filming at a police department, where literally the police chief physically assaulted the activists, and then the city pulled shenanigans and said, "Oh, we investigated ourselves. We hired an independent investigator to do it." When it really, in reality, it was okay. We're just trying to make it look like the guy didn't do anything wrong, and say it. And we went through the right hoops, but it's pretty obvious they just hired someone they knew and said, "Hey, it looked like you investigated this," and say he's not guilty.
Yeah, Bunny, you're touching on the intrinsic value of cop watching and auditing and First Amendment testers. It's the fact that the few stands up and pushes the limits of exercising rights and, risking arrest, risking being shot by the police, risking destruction of their property. And as activists, we do this from an animus and a want to live in a better society. And I think a lot of times that gets glanced over by our detractors. And folks on the internet are always throwing this at me and other activists. You should walk a mile in their shoes. No, I don't want to take a job that's predicated on constantly threatening people and coercing them and stealing money from them. No, I don't want to do that. It's not incumbent on the person that's criticizing anyone to walk a mile in their shoes to have a legitimate redress of grievance. That's just ridiculous and antithetical to logic. And I'm just very thankful of the people in the quote liberty movement and these open carry activists for standing up for my liberties.